Hi everyone, in this video we'll be doing a quick introduction to India ETFs. Currently there are a lot of options available to retail investors, so we wanted to give a broad overview comparison of some of these before breaking them down more in future videos. So here we'll be doing a quick overview, explaining how big each fund is, what it costs, and what index or strategy it follows. And just a quick reminder as always, this video is for informational purposes only and it is not investment advice. First, we'll be looking at broad market India ETFs out there. There are quite a few of these available. First, we have the iShares MSCI India ETF, ticker INDA from BlackRock. This is the largest India ETF we're going to cover with almost 9.5 billion in assets and an expense ratio of 0.62%. The fund tracks the MSCI India Index, which covers large and mid-cap companies. The ETF also has the second lowest expense ratio of all the ones we're going to cover in this video. Next, we have the iShares India 50 ETF, ticker INDY. This ETF has about 678 million under management and an expense ratio of 0.65%. This fund tracks the Nifty 50 index, which is comprised of India's best-known large-cap benchmark stocks. After that, we have the Franklin FTSE India ETF, ticker FLIN, from Franklin Templeton. It has roughly 2.5 billion in assets and a very low expense ratio of 0.19%. The fund tracks the FTSE India 3018 Capped Index, which covers large and mid-cap Indian companies. The 3018 cap means no single stock can exceed 30% of the index, and any others above 18 are capped at that level, helping to prevent overconcentration in a few big names. Next, we have the WisdomTree India Earnings ETF, ticker EPI from WisdomTree. This fund is about 2.9 billion in assets under management with an expense ratio of 0.84%. The holdings are weighted by company earnings rather than market cap, giving it a tilt towards value. Finally, in this category, we have the First Trust India Nifty 50 Equal Weight ETF, ticker NFTY. This ETF is just under 195 million in assets under management and a 0.81 expense ratio. This ETF holds the same stocks as INDY mentioned earlier, but the stocks here are equally weighted rather than market cap weighted, giving it a different composition. Next, we'll cover small cap and growth tilt ETFs. First is the iShares MSCI India Small Cap ETF, ticker SMIN, with about 937 million in assets under management and a 0.75% expense ratio. The fund tracks Indian small cap stocks, which tend to be more volatile, but it gives you targeted exposure to sectors like industrials and financials, offering a way to invest in smaller domestically focused companies with higher growth potential. Next is the Van Eck India Small Cap ETF, ticker SCIF. This has around 129 million under management with an expense ratio of 0.76%. The fund also focuses on small cap exposure, but it follows the MVIS India Small Cap Index. Finally, in this category, we have the Van Eck India Growth Leaders ETF, ticker GLIN. It has just under 130 million in assets under management and an expense ratio of 0.76%. The fund tracks an index that uses a growth at a reasonable price approach, selecting around 80 Indian companies with strong growth and solid fundamentals while avoiding overpriced stocks. Next, we'll cover some thematic India ETFs for those interested in particular sectors. First here, we'll cover the Columbia India Consumer ETF, ticker INCO. This ETF has around 304 million in assets with an expense ratio of 0.75%. The fund gives investors a way to bet on India's rising middle class by focusing on consumer goods and services. Its top holdings include everything from automakers to food and beverage companies, making it a targeted play on consumer growth. Next, we have the WisdomTree India Hedged Equity ETF, ticker INDH. This ETF has about 6.5 million in assets and an expense ratio of 0.64%. This gives you India stock market exposure with the key difference. It uses a special strategy to neutralize fluctuations between the rupee and the dollar. Finally, in this category, we have the Van Eck Digital India ETF, ticker DGIN. This has about 19 million in assets under management and an expense ratio of 0.74%. The fund offers a unique way to invest in India's digital growth transformation, holding companies in software, e-commerce, and telecommunications regardless of their size. So this wraps up our presentation on India ETFs. We'll dig deeper into these ETFs in future videos, but we also wanted to note that there are some other ETFs and niche products available that we didn't cover here. So this video isn't entirely comprehensive. There are some others out there, but these are the most common and the others tend to be less liquid and more risky. So if you're interested, you could check them out yourself. We'll be adding more content on India ETF soon, so please be sure to subscribe and check out Vina Edge for more information on these when we get to them. And one more reminder, this presentation is for informational purposes only and it is not investment advice.